Today's review is the T-Mobile myTouch 4G. It's built by HTC. Some highlights on this phone are a 5 megapixel camera and front-facing camera, 3.8 inch WVGA screen, an ultra-thin sexy body, and a 1 GHz second generation Snapdragon processor. Let's dive into the T-Mobile myTouch 4G. The biggest things you'll notice when you pick up the myTouch 4G is how thin it is. It's a little thinner than an iPhone 3GS, and it has a nice big 3.8 inch WVGA screen, capacitive touch screen, so sensitivity is actually very good. And if the touch screen's not enough for you, there's an optical trackpad at the bottom, styled very closely to BlackBerry's optical trackpad. We also get tangible buttons on the bottom of the phone: home, menu, back, and a new Genius button. We'll get into the Genius button in the features section. Now, on the top right of the screen, you'll notice a front-facing camera. That's for Yahoo and quick video chats. And there's a rear 5 megapixel camera with single LED flash. Basic architecture on the sides: volume control, USB, a dedicated camera button, 3.5mm audio jack, power lock button. In back we have our rechargeable battery and SIM card, in addition to a preloaded 8GB micro SD card slot. This phone can hold up to 32 GB of micro SD card goodness. Now, one thing on the durability front, we don't see this phone as highly durable. We dropped it on the floor and it basically exploded out the back. So the battery flew out and everything. So that might be one thing to watch, but other than that, it's a sleek, sexy, functional phone. Yes, the T-Mobile myTouch 4G has the second generation Snapdragon processor. That's 1 GHz and actual 1 GHz clock speeds. Now, you'd think this phone would be blazing fast. It has Android 2.2 and T-Mobile's myTouch interface. Well, we found differently. Unfortunately, this phone is a bit laggy and buggy, so let's check out the myTouch 4G's interface. So here's a glimpse of the myTouch interface on top of Android 2.2. We have 5 home screens, and we can shrink them all down to see each individual one, select whichever one we want. As you can see, this phone is rife with widgets, and here's one of T-Mobile's highlighted ones. It's called Faves. I know it's a really lame name. And you could basically put all of your top contacts in one widget, and if we go to the actual application, you can scroll through them like squares in space. And I like the little twirly whirl there. Now here's the Genius button in action. All we have to do is press the Genius button. Find pizza place. And now it's loading Google Map search for all of the pizza joints in the general vicinity. Now for email, we get Exchange support, or we could even set up any of our own personal accounts like Hotmail, and we get the Android market for all of our gaming and application goodness. The myTouch 4G also has a swipe keyboard, and we get Friend Stream here, so we could search through all of our friends' statuses from Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, etc. for hours on end. Gallery, I mean, it just takes forever. Sometimes it will just quit randomly. So we'll pick one picture and see how it's just kind of laggy and memory overload. This is where all the problems started. Now here are all of our contacts, tons and tons of them. And if someone has video chat, all we have to do is touch them, place a video call. There's YouTube. You see we can scroll through our pages. Let's do this one. Sorry, this video cannot be played. Oh, okay. Really? The how-to video chat T-Mobile cannot be played on the T-Mobile myTouch 4G. Alright, let's try not high quality. Cannot play the video. For call quality, the T-Mobile myTouch 4G did not give us any major problems. There wasn't any major background noise. Calls were crisp and clean, so there were no big complaints on that front. When it came to battery life, that was a different story. This phone exhibited more of a mediocre performance. It will definitely last throughout the day, but it will be on its last breath. When it came to image quality, we were surprised. The T-Mobile myTouch 4G exhibited a very impressive performance compared to all the cell phones we've seen this year. Low light sensitivity was great. Still image quality was crisp and sharp. And we love the camera interface. Here are all of our image effects, distortion, change the size of the vignette hole. Same thing with depth of field. We can drag a circle all over the screen, change the size of the circle. When it came to video, 720p HD video, things were not as kosher. This camera sometimes slipped with its frame rate, freezing on a frame for about 4 seconds. That's completely unacceptable. And also it just looked like standard definition blown up to 720p. So video, this phone misses out big time. And it has that screen share feature where it wirelessly streams videos and media onto your HD TV that's compatible with DLNA. And you know, the videos are bad enough on YouTube, but seeing them on a big screen, forget about it. We feel that the T-Mobile myTouch 4G has the makings of a great phone, but it's flawed in certain ways. We don't like the 720p video quality, and the phone is laggy and buggy despite its fast hardware. And that's what perplexes us at the end of the day. We've seen faster phones, but we like the interface of this phone. We like the direction T-Mobile's going. They just need to iron out the kinks with this thing. And in a sea of smartphones, a phone like the T-Mobile myTouch 4G is definitely not the king of the castle. For InfoSync World, I'm Mike Perlman.